Hey, what is going on, you sleepy Seedra? The Ogerpon EXs have finally been revealed, and they're interesting for sure. Before we talk about these new cards, though, let's talk about those old cards. That's right, the ones under your bed, in your closet, in those boxes. All that Pokemon bulk. Why are you not getting rid of that over at TCGBulk.com? They're a great service that connects people who want to get rid of their bulk cards with people who want to buy bulk cards. That's right, you can turn your bulk Pokemon cards into cash. Head over to BulkTCG.com or download their app right now on the Apple App Store or Google Play Store. Link, of course, will be in the description. So we knew the Ogerpon was on the way. The question was just when were we going to see it, and we're seeing it right now. And actually, it was revealed in English at the same time it was revealed in Japanese, which I don't know if this is the first time this has been done before, but I think it's definitely a good sign for the game overall as far as like syncing us up with Japan when sets are getting released. So that's very interesting. Yeah, I'm not sure if this is the first time ever. I'm pretty sure it is. This is the only time I remember this ever happening, but definitely interesting. Let's go and let's jump into them, break it down, explain how we're going to be utilizing these cards. The first card I'm going to talk about is the item card, Ogre's Mask. Choose a Pokemon EX in your discard pile that has Ogerpon in its name, and switch it with one of your Pokemon EX in play that has Ogerpon in its name. Any cards attached, damage counter, special condition, turns in play, and any other effects remain on the new Pokemon. It's an item card, so we could take, let's say we have a water Ogerpon in play with some energy on it, maybe a fighting energy into colorless. We can then use Ogre's Mask to switch it into the fighting Ogerpon and then use that demolish attack on that turn. So that's the point of the Ogre's Mask. I'll mention this teal mask Ogerpon right here. Doesn't seem great, but it is a one prizer, so maybe we just utilize it as a one prize attacker. Mountain Troll for a colorless energy, search your deck for up to 2 basic energy cards, reveal them, put them into your hand, then shuffle your deck. And then for grass colorless Ogre, come back, 20 plus 20 more damage for each of your opponent's benched Pokemon. Am I the only one who thinks of Shrek when reading these cards? All right, let's go on. You got the teal mask Ogerpon EX with the teal dance ability, the main form of draw power and energy acceleration for Ogerpon that we've seen so far. Of course, you could like include B-Barrel or something in here as well if you wanted to. Once during your turn, you may attach a basic grass energy card from your hand to this Pokemon. If you attach an energy to this Pokemon in this way, draw a card. So theoretically, on our first turn of the game, going first, we could bench or put into play 4 Teal Mask Ogerpon and then use Teal Dance 4 times on each Ogerpon and then draw 4 cards, which would be pretty good. Accelerate 4 energy into play, draw 4 cards. Can't really complain with that. And the attack is solid as well. 30 damage plus 30 more damage for each energy attached to both active Pokemon, yours and your opponent's, for triple grass energy, but we're accelerating grass energy into play, so that shouldn't be too hard to build up the 3 grass energy. Now, it gets more interesting. So that's how we accelerate our energy into play, gives us a little bit of draw power, but then from there, once we get the energy established on our grass Ogerpon, we can utilize that Ogre's Mask to get into the water Ogerpon or the fighting Ogerpon, and we could utilize the Sob. Probably not. Sob's okay. During your opponent's next turn, the defendable one can't retreat for a colorless for 20, but the Torrential Pump is probably the attack we're going to be using from the water Ogerpon. Water plus double colorless. You may shuffle up to 3 energy cards attached to this Pokemon into your deck. If you do, this attack does 120 damage to one of your opponent's benched Pokemon. Not bad, but I think the best Ogerpon here by far is the fighting Ogerpon with its ability Cornerstone Stance. Prevent all damage done from attacks to this Pokemon by your opponent's Pokemon that have an ability. That is a very powerful ability for sure. And then the demolish attack for a fighting double colors for 140 damage. Unfortunately, we are fighting type, but we're not going to be knocking out Arceus V-Stars with this attack because this attack's damage isn't affected by weakness or resistance or by any other effects on your opponent's active Pokemon. So it does have an effective shred attack there in the demolish. No weakness or resistance applied as well. I don't know if we're complaining too much about that. It'd be cool to be able to 1-hit KO on Arceus. Probably not happening. So these 2 attacks cost 1 fighting and 1 water to pull off the attack. So theoretically, on our first turn of the game, we could use the Ogerpon's Teal Dance to accelerate a grass energy, and then maybe we attach like a luminous energy from our hand. Luminous energy provides any type of energy as a special energy, as long as it's as long as there's not another special energy attached to that Pokemon. If there is, it only provides a colorless energy. So we could have a luminous energy on our Ogerpon. We use Teal Dance to accelerate a grass energy. Next turn, we accelerate another grass energy with Teal Dance. We Ultra Ball away. I don't know. Let's go with the Cornerstone Mask Ogerpon, and then we Ogre's Mask and swap our grass Ogerpon into our fighting Ogerpon, and now we have that Cornerstone Stance in play on the Ogerpon, and we're doing Demolish on turn 2. And theoretically, with like Energy Switch, you could even pull off that combo on turn 1. You could be like turn 1 attacking with a fighting Ogerpon with the Demolish or the Torrential Pump, like turn 1. Luminous Energy is an option. We could just play Vessels, though, which seem really, really good to combo with Ogerpon. And in that case, we would play like basic Waters and basic Fightings. Yeah, because Vessel seems pretty good. We could use a Vessel to get 2 Grass Energy, to then use 2 Teal Dances, drawing us 2 cards. That's a lot of value, I feel like, right there. So we'll probably play this with Vessel, but maybe the Luminous Energy makes more sense. I'm actually not 100% sure. Let's talk about this Fire Ogerpon. This one's a little bit more awkward. I don't think we're going to be using the Dynamic Blaze, because we're probably going to already have to play a pretty heavy grass count to utilize the Grass Ogerpon's attack, and plus it's our main energy we're going to want to be accelerating into play through its ability, and that gives us some draw power as well. The Dynamic Blaze costs 3 fire energy. We're going to manually attach 3 times with fire energy. That seems bad. Yeah, the Dynamic Blaze I don't think we're utilizing, to be honest. It's 140 plus 140 more damage if our opponent's active as an evolution Pokemon, so 280, not bad. One-hit KOs V-Stars, which is cool. That's how we could one-hit KO a an Arceus V-Star, to be honest, or a Giratina V-Star Dynamic Blaze. But yeah, the 3 fire energy cost, that feels awkward. I don't know how we're getting there currently with the cards that have been revealed so far. But the Wrathful Heart, I guess we could play like Magma Basin. I've heard some people mention Magma Basin, maybe Armor Rouge. So maybe you do include Magma Basin in this deck, and then you just like load up your Fire Ogerpon on the bench. That doesn't seem terrible. The first attack is pretty solid though, if we're not getting one-hit KO'd. And the Cornerstone Stance ability on the Cornerstone Mask Ogerpon specifically might make it awkward for our opponent to actually one-hit KO our Ogerpon here, which would then lead to them dealing damage to our Ogerpon, which means we could then turn our Cornerstone Mask Ogerpon into the Fire, I'm just going to call them the Fighting the Fire Ogerpon EX, and then we can use that Wrathful Hearth for a fire energy to colorless energy. This attack does 20 damage for each damage counter on this Pokemon, and that's where the Luminous Energy could come into play, honestly. Obviously, Vessel seems pretty good, but if we play Luminous Energy, we could have a Luminous Energy on our Fighting Ogerpon, and then we could Ogre's Mask it into the Fire Ogerpon, and then we can go from using Demolish into using the Wrathful Hearth without having to attach a fire energy after we maybe only had a fighting energy on our Ogerpon. And then we could go further than that, and then we could go into the Water Ogerpon and then use Torrential Pump all through one energy set, right? 2 grass energy plus a luminous energy. We don't have to get any more energy involved. So that would be interesting for sure. But of course, if we're running Vessel, maybe we stick to the basic energy. And also, there probably is more cards in this set that maybe aren't Ogerpon exclusive, but probably synergize with Ogerpon overall. So we haven't seen every card in this set quite yet, and this is going to be our May set. I believe it's going to be coming out on May 22nd, so we'll get it like on PTCG Live on May 21st. Of course, we always get it on the Thursday before the Friday where the set releases. So there's probably still a bunch of more stuff to be revealed that does synergize decently with Ogerpon. I would imagine this set seems to be all about Ogerpon. So honestly, we might not get much else in this set besides the Ogerpon, but hopefully the Ogerpon is good. It doesn't seem like inherently broken or anything like that, but it's cool, it's interesting, it seems reasonably powerful, and I think we're going to get a couple more cards that probably synergize with the Ogerpons. Probably like some more one-prize Ogerpons that aren't just the Teal Mask. We might get like a one-prize Cornerstone or Wellspring or the Hearthflame. That would make sense, of course, and maybe we'll see some other cards like the Ogre's Mask that are like Ogerpon exclusive cards that only work with the Ogerpons. We'll see. That's going to do it for my thoughts on the Ogerpons. Let me know what you think about the Ogerpons in the comment section down below. Is there any combos you can think of that I didn't mention here that seem cool, interesting, yada, yada, yada? Let me know. Catch y'all in the next video. Peace.